all of my friends are having kids, and they're in different stages. Like some of them are like getting married and then having kids right away, and a bunch of them are having kids that are unscheduled. And it's just wild because now I'm meeting all these like babies, kids, there's all these new people that don't know what my buddy is like. Like that, like I know him, and this kid's calling him like dad and stuff, and I'm like, no, like he not a dad, like he is, but no. It's just, for them to have such a different view of my friend, just blows my mind. Like this little kid thinks his dad is cool, you know what I mean? And it's like, if anything, that's just an indication of how little time you spent on this earth. He's all right, but like, that's why. Because it doesn't matter who you are. All of us had this moment when we were kids, and you looked up to your parents, you looked up to the adults as like the real people, like the big people know everything, you know? And then you get older, and it's a different moment for everybody. It's a different moment for every single person, but there's a moment that you have with an adult where you're like, uh-oh. No, no. Do you know what you're doing? And so you deal with it because it comes for everybody, especially when it's the people you look up to. You put these people on a pedestal. You know, some people think that their dad can do anything, especially when you're really little. You come home from school with homework, and your dad can help you no problem, because when you're little, your homework is just shapes. Like you come home and you racking your little brain for like, ooh, I can't remember this one. I think your dad's like, that's trapezoid, son. And you're like, wow, my dad's a genius. He said it like that. That was crazy. He just knew that. And so you have this belief about adults and what they're supposed to do. You have this idea in your head of how life will go. Because maybe when you're their age, you'll have everything figured out. And then you get older, and once again, the year is different for everyone. But you get older, and then one day you look around, you're like, uh-oh. Oh no, because nobody told you. Nobody told you that adults, they're just kids who lived. Like they were kids, and then they just stayed alive. And somebody had to do the jobs. And so now people do the jobs. It's a never-ending cycle of people looking like they have it together. It's devastating. It's devastating because, once again, when this happens, it depends on how it happens as well. There are some people that put their parents on a pedestal, maybe even not just parents, some adult, someone you look up to on this pedestal, and then when you realize that they're just another person, it can be so like world-shattering when there's a crack in that perfect picture you have of who they are. And depending on how you find out, depends on how you end up reacting to it. Because sometimes it's almost a relief. It's like, oh, okay, my dad's not perfect. Sometimes it's incredibly disappointing. It just depends on what happens. Because, you know, your dad can help you with your homework, no problem, until like you come home with like some 6th grade math. be fair to him, he hadn't seen this since sixth grade because these specific problems didn't affect his life like that. So then he's sitting in the kitchen, and then you bring him home and you're like, Dad, I've really been trying. Can you help me out with this? And then your dad is like, oh, no, because I remember this one because the train leaves. Yeah, because the train, and it's going a certain miles per hour. You know what, if I'm being honest with you, son, we mostly just take the car anyway. I don't even think you need to worry about this one like this, you know? Because I usually just get in the car and go. And I'm determined to get there. I'm going to get there when I get there, you know? I don't even think this one will come up for you. Because like, even a plane, when you take a plane, they tell you when you're going to get there. They don't make you do this whole thing with the train and stuff. They need to work on their system. It's a different point for everyone. This moment where your whole world changes because you see these people as people for the first time. And it's usually when they don't have things in control. It's usually when you're seeing them in a light that they would like to not be seen in, you know? When I was a kid, they did a fire safety demonstration, right? And the thing about doing anything at school where there's like a visitor, where there's like a different adult that comes, it's always special because they're teaching you everything you're supposed to know. But then there's like something that happens, and it shakes up your whole school day. And for us, it was this firefighter coming to school and giving a fire safety demonstration. And for it, he was using a fire extinguisher, and he was telling us all about fire safety. He was like, if you use the fire extinguisher, make sure to hit the base, spread it across. Don't just think it's done because you like shot it a bunch. Like really be thorough and everything. Everyone should have a fire extinguisher in their home. Everyone in the home should know where it is. And in order to show us, he did have to set a trash can on fire, which was awesome. It was amazing. Even when he was like, I was watching it like, man, this is so cool. I'm kind of rooting for the fire, if I'm being honest. I'd like to see it burn a little longer. And we all went our separate ways that day. And you know, when your parents pick you up from school, there's always that question of like, what did you do at school today? And it's kind of a nothing question, so it ends up getting nothing answers. Because it's not like what was the most exciting thing about today. It's nothing specific, just like, what did you do at school today? It's too broad of a question. You just end up saying stuff. Yeah, I learned stuff, and just there was some English and some math. You did it, you know. It's just, they throw a bunch at you, and then they send you home with homework. It's the grind. I don't know what to tell you. But then my buddy went home. He's sitting at the table with his parents, and they asked him, what did you do at school today? And because he was actually excited to tell them what happened at school today, he was so excited, he told them in the worst possible way, like the worst wording and everything. They were like, what did you do at school today? He was like, a man came to school and set a trash can on fire. It was awesome. And after some follow-up questions, they got to the bottom of it, that it was a firefighter doing a fire safety demonstration, not just a deranged man who brought his own trash can. And normally, like with respect to what everyone has to do to have a functioning education system, usually the things you learn in school, they build upon each other, but they don't come up as lessons in life right away. You usually don't have to apply in real life what you learned at school the next day. So the next day, my buddy came downstairs, watched some Saturday morning cartoons, right? He's in his pajamas and everything. Got Spider-Man, X-Men. This is like the old school lineup, right? And as he's sitting there, he smells something. And it's not like that light smoky smell. It's not like a barbecue. It's harsh and it's thick. And he immediately smells something burning. And he turns around and his whole microwave is on fire. And so he sprung into action because, once again, he had that conversation with his parents the night before, and they were like, yes, everyone in the house should know where the fire extinguisher is. The fire extinguisher is in the pantry. We keep it right here. And he ran to the pantry, grabbed the fire extinguisher, pulled the pin, and was like, and so he puts out the fire. Basically, what had happened was his dad had tried to heat some leftovers. And so he put, especially back in the day, I don't know if you remember, maybe they still do it. You know how a Chick-fil-A bag has that tin foil lining? Well, his dad popped it in because he was like, okay, maybe if I keep it in the bag, it won't sweat so much and everything. But it just pop, and then the microwave exploded. And whole thing catches on fire. He puts out the fire. My buddy put out the fire. And he said that when he turned, he saw his dad outside. Because he basically ran as soon as the microwave caught on fire. His dad ran out of the house as soon as the microwave caught on fire. And there's just so many questions. First of all, how did you get out so fast and quiet? You didn't think to yell out, "Come with me," or anything like that? That's wild. Not only did his dad run out of the house without him, mom wasn't even home. It was just him and his dad. Not only did his dad run out of the house without him, but when he was looking at his dad, the door was closed. So what? Wait. You had time to close the door. And his dad is like in a state, because I don't know if y'all know this, and this is like, you can look this up. This one is science. This is a fact, that there are only 3 times after 50 years old that a man can reach top speed again. And his dad clearly used it, because he wasn't just breathing hard. He was over here beside himself. I remember he was telling us this story. I was sitting there and I couldn't believe it. I was like, your daddy left you? Oh, that's tough. Because I had heard of this before, I had heard of versions of, but in all of the stories I was told about a dad leaving, it was like early on. This is a dad who's in the home and he just left. And I was like, because we're all kids and we don't have all the words to process that change. Like the way you see your dad has changed now. Probably forever. And I was like, what did you do? what did you do? And he said that his dad saw him. His dad finally saw him holding the fire extinguisher inside. He was finally stopped huffing and puffing. He was like, oh. You can tell in that moment he remembered he had a son. And he's like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do, but when my dad started walking back to the house, I locked the door. He said he locked all the doors. And because his dad ran out in his pajamas, he didn't have a key. And so then his dad was like, you know, yelling for him to open the door and stuff like that. And eventually, because people don't talk to their neighbors, somebody did call the police thinking he was trying to break in. And when the police came, he went to the door and the police were standing there with his dad. And this 10-year-old looked the police dead in the face. And I was like, officer, I don't know this man. I bring this up because we are at war. I hope you didn't hear it from me. Yes, as a country, we are at war with Iran, and is not going well. A war we didn't even need to be in is also a war that we're losing. You know, we've got troops in distress on the U.S. as Abraham Lincoln. We have people that don't even understand what they're supposed to be doing. This thing doesn't make any sense at all. And no matter what the president says, because he loves to get on TV at least once a week and be like, oh, we've got him on the ropes. Oh, they want to make a deal so bad. It's like, not only is that not true, I'm pretty positive that's the opposite of the truth, because I don't know if you've ever been in a fight, but usually when you're beating somebody up and you're winning real good, like you're just really whooping them, they usually don't drop a Lego mixtape on you. Like, it's usually not a sign that we're doing it. And so, look, I bring this up because the president, members of his cabinet, and the press were in Turkey. Some of you already know, okay. So they were in Turkey, and, okay, all right. There was a threat. There was a threat on the president's life that, you know, Iran wanted to make an attempt on him, and so Secret Service came up with a plan. Basically, they were gonna put him on Air Force One for a second and then put him on a different plane. Now, because this plan shows that Secret Service doesn't care about him at all. Because what do you mean? What do you mean people want to shoot at the plane or blow up the plane, but get on the plane for a little while? That's a crazy plan. This is the plane that they want to attack. And the Secret Service's plan is to be like, yeah, get on it a little while. Like, No, just get on it and then we'll get you off of it. But it's like, what? So then they get him on the plane, and I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm going to be 100% honest. I actually don't know which plane we're dealing with, because there's Air Force One, but then Trump got gifted a plane from Saudi Arabia that everyone was like, don't take that plane. That's not, that, there's no way it's a good plane. Don't take that plane. Why are we even having this conversation? Don't take the plane. And then Trump was like, it's a plane. It's a plane. And they were like, Mr. President, we know it's a plane, but don't take a plane from a foreign nation. Even as a gift, don't take the plane. And he's like, okay, did they offer you the plane? Or did they offer me the plane? Because if they offer me the plane, I'm gonna take the plane. When you get offered the plane, you can do with the plane what you want, but I'm gonna take my plane. It's a crazy thing. It's like, this is clear. They had to basically take this plane apart, put it back together, just to make sure it wasn't like a spy plane full of spy stuff, which it definitely is. It'd be crazy not to make a spy plane if he just taking planes. Just this man just taking planes that you offer him. It's like such an it's such an old lesson. It's like one of the first ones for being outside. Don't take candy from strangers. And sometimes the candy will be in the shape of a plane. Don't take the plane. That's wild that you're taking. So then I don't even know if that's the plane he uses. Maybe it is. I don't know. All I know is that it's so infuriating. It's maddening. It's like sometimes I actually see red. He's so stupid. He's so stupid because it's like I can't stress this enough. It's so breathtakingly stupid. It's so like at least the Trojans had to be tricked. You realize that, right? Like, in case you haven't read the Iliad or the Odyssey, so there was a war, and basically the Greeks left this horse, and then the Trojans were like, "Ooh, that's a dope horse," and then there were a couple people in Troy that were like, "Don't take that horse." And they were like, "No, it's a good horse, and it's a gift to the gods. We got to take it, you know." And they were like, "No, don't take the horse." And in this scenario, what we're living through right now would be like if they left the Trojan horse, and then all of the Trojans were like, "Don't take that horse." But then King Priam was like, "It's a horse. I want my horse." And so they take the horse, and yeah, no spoilers, but. But yeah. So then, as part of the plan, they put Trump on the plane just to see what happens, and then that's crazy though. You gotta understand how wild that is. Like if somebody told me, "Hey, all right, look." Your house, there's somebody put a bomb threat on your house, all right? We got to take you to your house for a little while just to see if they're serious or if they're bluffing, like, you know what I mean? This is wild. Anyway, all right, so they take him, they take him to the plane. Then they get him off the plane. Everybody sees him on the plane, by the way. Press sees him, his cabinet sees him, everybody sees him get on the plane. But then they get him to the next plane, and they put him in like a food cart. All right. They put him in a food cart and then take him to the next plane, and then he gets on the next plane, and then that plane takes off, and Air Force One takes off, but then nobody knows which plane the president is on, all right? And there are some things that happen that are just so cosmically funny. There are things that happen that make you laugh so hard that when you initially read it, You don't even laugh. You're more like, no. No. Wait. The president. I mean, he probably always wanted to be a Happy Meal, and now this dude. Because they put him, and I had friends being like, "It's a food truck, not a food cart." I'm like, hey. No matter what it is, we have the strongest, most powerful military in all the world, the face of the earth, the most terrifying force that the world has ever seen, and we still had to DoorDash our president back. That's wild. You had to Instacart Trump back to... Oh, I just don't know why it made me laugh so much. It's like, I just imagine him being like in an actual cabinet. And they open it and they're like, "Oh, we got you, Mr. President." And he just got stains all over his shirt. This stuff's pretty good. Like, I just imagine a flat-eyed turkey with crumbs on his face. But then he left so many people on the plane. He left. He barely took anybody with him. And he like left Marco Rubio on the plane. And I don't know why it's so funny to me that he left Marco Rubio seemed like one of those dudes that scream for help with too many L's in it. You know what I mean? You know those dudes that are like, help! 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 Trump left Scott Bessent on the plane. Scott Bessent got to go in front of the country twice a week to tell us it's going to be okay while his voice breaks like it's not going to be okay. Every time they send Scott Bessent to talk to us about inflation or the economy crumbling or something like that, he is always like, we expect inflation to go down any day now. I'm like, say it with one breath. Say it with one breath. I bet you can. You sound like inflation behind you right now. Every time you talk to us, you sound like inflation just dare you to say something. You sound like inflation dare you to say something good, like I dare you. Come on, hey, come on. Left Scott Bessent. Trump left Stephen Miller, and that was the only point where I was like, Mr. President, you did the right thing. Stephen Miller was the one where I was like, you gotta do what you gotta do, dog. Like, no, they got this man off. He left his cabinet, left members of the press. Some of those members of the press are like very favorable to him. Like, some of them always say good things, write good things, ask incredibly soft questions. Still left him, you know. And I was just sitting there, you know, reading about this thing, watching it. And it's been years. It's been, you know, nearly 3 decades, and still, I was sitting there like, wow. Just wondering how they must feel, because your daddy left you. No, that's gotta be rough. That's gotta be rough. That's gotta be tough. That's gonna be like a quiet Monday. I'm not saying any of them are like brave enough to actually like get in Trump's face about it. I'm just saying, like, I can see him breaking the tension because, you know, he'll read the room, and I can see him opening up to them, being like, look, y'all, listen. In my defense, I didn't think you'd live, okay? We shouldn't be having this conversation right now. No, that's rough. That's rough. Because then, I don't know, I'm sure they didn't tell anyone that was on Air Force One about the threat until they landed, you know? But they had to have known that Trump wasn't on the plane. He wasn't on the plane. And you could tell because he's never quiet. Imagine now you part of the press and part of the cabinet, and then the plane take off and you're like, y'all, I don't hear him at all. Y'all don't think he... Because, like, Trump is someone that affects all the senses. No, he does. You can see him. You can see him. And when you see him, you're like, doesn't look well. You can hear him. You can hear him easy. You can't not hear him. We've normalized this volume and cadence. This is not normal. We forget that. Presidents used to just speak. He's the first one that's like, ah! Like that's not regular. That's only him. If you're in proximity, you could touch him. He's probably touching you. No. And we have it on good authority from multiple sources that you can smell the president. And because taste and smell are so connected, I didn't do it. I do worry sometimes that that I'm cutting myself off from moments that could be really, really special because I'm busy with whatever. Maybe I'm listening to music with my AirPods in. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to a moment that's about to happen. So sometimes I'll take these. It's not often, but sometimes I'll take these little spells where I'll leave my AirPods at home, or like make sure that I can't be distracted in that way. I can't just zone out while I do something, while I do a commute or something like that. And it's a practice that I've gone back and forth on for years. And when I lived in Chicago, I realized that sometimes I wasn't fully present with my friends. Like I was there, but I was like I said, I'd be listening to music in the middle of the car ride to the place where we're gonna hang out, or I would be on my phone, like reading something. And so I was like, let's be as present as possible. And man, I regretted it. All in all, what I'm saying is not a bad thing to do. It's what I should do more often. But this particular time, so I got in my friend's car. I don't know cars. I don't drive, and I can't fix a car. I watched 2 YouTube videos on how to change a tire if that ever came up. But outside that, I don't even know how a car works. Like, I don't even know how the car turns the juice from the gas station into like go. Like, I don't know. Do you have, like I don't know how the liquid makes the wheel move, because they seem unrelated. You can judge me if you want to, but a rubber wheel is moving because you poured liquid into a different thing completely. You didn't grease the wheels, you didn't push. Guess everybody here is a genius. All right, never mind. I'm willing to be the dumb one, that's fine. But anyway, I was in my friend's car. He was driving us. We were all gonna hang out together, and he was my ride because everyone else got lucky. And I love my friend dearly, but his car doesn't make any sense because the way that his seat works, I guess for the car to start, I don't know. His passenger seat got to be all the way up to the front. I used to think like maybe he was carting something around, and so he needed to push the seat all the way up, but he's like, no, it just resets like that when you get out of the car. And I was like, how? I've told this to people who know how cars work, and they're like, I've never heard that before. But basically, the seat is almost like spring-loaded. I'm getting ready to get in the car. I open the door, and the seat, it was almost like he had something in the back seat the night before or something, because the seat is fully to like the front, but then the actual seat is down, like almost touching the dashboard. And so I'm asking him how I move the seat back, and he's like, oh, just pull this thing. And I'm like, okay, and then I pull it back, and then I go to sit down. But the issue is, so I pulled the seat back, but then this part never lifted, so I'm just like this. I'm just like this in the seat. And then this fool just started driving. Like, what is wrong? What are you doing? We had backed out and everything. Got on the road, I had to be like, hello? I can't get the seat up because I'm toggling with the thing that looks like it should control it, and it's not moving the seat at all. And so I'm leaning forward in the seat. I'm like, hey, there's no way other people ride like this. What should I do to change this position? And he was like, okay, I'm gonna have to turn the heater on. I already told you I don't know how cars work. I don't know. I don't know if this is even true, but it's never happened to me before. And he's like, I got to turn the heater on. I was like, what does the heater have to do? And he's like, the seat won't go back unless I turn the heater on. And I was like, there's no way. And he's like, you can try. And I did. I was over here. Go ahead, turn the heater on. This dude turns the heater on. I got hot air blowing in my face, and all of a sudden this thing is going. And I was like, what? Did you have an accident? Like, what happened to your car that you'd have to turn the heater on to move the seat back? And he was like, I don't know, it's not like that on my side. My friend, the problem is that it's like that at all. That's wild. Okay. Thank you. You can turn the heater off. I got it where I want it. He's like, for it to stay where it is. For it to stay where it is, I gotta keep the heat on low. I was like, it is July. I'm not even kidding. He went, hey, you got in my car. And we had already taken off. We've already been driving. But I was like, maybe we should stop and I'll just get in the back. And he's like, don't get in the back. That would be weird. No, you're right. Yeah, this is less weird. Why would the back be weird? I can't be hot for this whole ride. Like, I just can't. And he's like, well, take it, take your shirt off or something. I was like, that's not weird. That's not weird to you. Shirt off in the front. Just sitting in the back, insane. We both don't speak for the next 4 minutes, right? Nobody's speaking. 4 or 5 minutes, just staring ahead. And I don't know if there was some guilt on his conscience. I don't know what it was, but he finally says, I didn't want you to sit in the back because I was embarrassed. And I was like, oh, buddy, I'm sure it's not your fault that you got a demon car or whatever that you need to turn the heat on to recline the seat and stuff. That things happen. I'm sure you said you got it used and everything. Maybe it was used by the devil. I don't know, but things happen. And he's like, no, I was embarrassed because if you sit in the back, I was like, what? If you sit in the back, the trunk opens. I don't even think you should be allowed to call this a car. I don't. This is a rickshaw at best. This is insane. You can't be doing this. When did you get this car? And he's like, got it 2 months ago. I was like, and did you know any of this was wrong with the car? He's like, yeah, I got a deal. It's like, what deal? Do you have to make a wish for the radio to work? What sort of deal? You gotta be more responsible than this, all right? You about to be a father. I've been taking stock of my friends and what's going on in our lives and everything. And I'll say that as men, we collectively don't seem to be doing well.
things are rough in lots of different areas, lots of categories. In the jeopardy of men, we are in jeopardy. Near every facet of life feels like more confusing, more difficult to navigate in a way that feels like you are definitely doing the right thing. I do believe that lots of people are doing their best, truly. I just also think that, okay, as an example, I can't read a map. I can't, like, you give me even if you gave me a map of this building and pointed to where I was right now and told me to get to a specific bathroom, I'm probably gonna end up outside. Like, I cannot seem to read a map. As much as I try, I end up turning it. So I tried to be a Boy Scout for a little while. It was terrible. And because when you try to be a Boy Scout, like when you really trying to go for all the badges at once, everything, you really not getting anything, you are just being a problem in the woods. And one of the things was, like, I could not work a compass because I was like, so it's supposed to go in every time, right? And they were like, no, it's supposed to show you where north is by how it's positioned, but it doesn't have to point north every time. I'm like, oh, okay, because it's dangling. And they were like, well, did you let a magnet touch it or something? And I was like, I don't see what that should have to do with anything. Like, they're like, no, well, the compass works off, like, the poles of so if you touch it with a magnet, it confuses the... So you got a piece of paper telling me where I am and where I need to get, and then you gave me a cup of metal that points anywhere it wants to. And somehow I'm the one that doesn't know what he's doing. Why are we even in the woods right now? We live inside. Have you ever thought of that? Try as I might, I could not read a map. Even if you lay the thing out where I needed to go, where I was now, and the way to get there, it's like in practice. I couldn't close that gap in my mind because I knew that the map is a suggestion. It's a good one, but the map doesn't have to do all these steps. Even the compass is a tool. But if it's spinning, we might as well be Pirates of the Caribbean or something. Like, that doesn't, this thing doesn't help me at all. I don't know where it's pointing, and it won't be still. I'm being still, it won't be still. How does that work? Is north moving? Is north on its own journey? Try as I might, I could not seem to read a map, and that is what it feels like to, at least to me, be a man now. There's a map, and the map is laid out with lots of good suggestions, and you even get tools along the way to make sure that you get to where you want to be, which is being a successful man, being a good man, being, you know, a respected man. But then in actual practice, walking that road, you're like, look, the paper says... But when I look around, it's tough. It is, especially with love. Like, in regards to, like, love, attraction, seeking someone out and meeting someone you like, trying to take it to another level. It can be difficult because if you are, I won't even say good. If you are at least a regular man, bad men have ruined everything for you. And I'm not talking about the like, but I'm a good guy. I'm talking about if you are just a regular tax-paying citizen who doesn't do any crimes and is generally nice to people, maybe a wave. I'm not even talking about a good, outstanding man. If you're just a regular guy, bad men have ruined everything for you already before you got there, right? It's like they showed up in the room right before you and farted. And then you walk in and you can't prove it's not you. But you know it's not you. You know you didn't do anything. And the bad man that farted has already left the room. We're all living in his wake. No, and it's hard to find the actual bad man sometimes because he's stealthy, he's disguised. You know what I mean? You'd have to follow him around all day. You'd have to follow him every waking minute just to have the proof that he's a bad man. You would. That's why it takes years sometimes to figure people out. You'd have to hunt him down and then take the picture and run into the room and be like, he was eating beans. Those were his farts. You just have guys that maybe don't have someone to tell them how to go about life, like that, whether you call it a father figure or just like friends in general that can be that sort of guiding light of here's how you handle each situation, especially when it comes to dating. Like who you pick to be with is a huge part of your life because it's gonna be most of your life picking people, you know? And we're not doing fantastic. And I say that as like not from a place of judgment, just from looking around. It's pretty apparent. You know, you look at the internet is fueled with so much anger, like so much hate. A lot of it is resentment for what people don't have or don't feel like they can get, you know, and it leads people to not take care of themselves. One of the most attractive things you can do is take care of yourself. Just let the water. You know, I can tell exactly how depressed my friends are by how it smells when I walk in their apartment. Do you know what I mean? Like every once in a while you get like a little whiff here and there and it's like, you just came back from a game of pickup basketball, it's gonna be like that in here. And then sometimes you visit a buddy and you're like, ooh, she left. Yep, she's gone. Like I have friends who, obviously friends that are trying to date everybody across the spectrum. But one thing that I have found as a point of frustration is when people don't listen to me about things that feel, they feel pretty apparent. You can take my advice, you cannot take my advice. It doesn't actually affect me. I just want people to be happy, right? And so a good example is like when your friend says he's got a date and that she's coming over and you're like, here. And then he has the nerve to be like, what? No. You know what? Here is what? What is here? Or then I'll have a conversation, especially I have a conversation with some of the women that I know in my life that will not believe me when I give them advice about men. But I have no ulterior motive. I'm just like, hey, this thing is happening. Just so you know, I'm trying to be helpful. And it's weird because we as people accept a lot of things as an idea, in a big way, right? So you'll hear men are dogs, blah, blah, blah. Every man wants one thing. All guys are after the same thing. And those are almost principles that people live by. But then when you tell your friend, hey, that's a dog. And then she's like, no, not Mark. He's so sweet. It's like, what are you doing? We just established that and there's a level of frustration that comes with that when it would be like if someone came to you, right? Like a dog owner came to you and they were like, I don't know why my dog is doing this thing. And then you told them because you're someone who has trained dogs, been around dogs a lot. So you're like, this is why your dog is doing it. Oh, you also in this scenario happen to be a dog. So then you're a dog that's trained dogs and been around dogs all your life, telling someone, because you're a talking dog, you can speak, telling them why this dog is doing that thing. And then they're like, no. That doesn't sound right. But it is. It is. No, not Mark. He's so sweet. I've known him for so long. I'm telling you, that's a dog. Not Mark. Mark is the sweetest. You don't know him like I know him. Like, I don't need to know him at all. I know the 4 facts you've told me about Mark, so I know exactly what Mark is trying to do. No, not sweet Mark. I'm like, you need to stop calling him Mark. From now on, his name is Ark, Ark, Ark. That is a dog. You wouldn't believe the conversations I've had trying to be helpful. You know what I mean? Like, especially in like high school, like college, you try to help your friends and everything. Conversation. Wait, you mean to tell me that this guy is just hanging around me and secretly wants to be with me and is willing to be friends with me for years just so that he might have a chance, be my friend throughout all of my other relationships, and likes to go on these, like, not quite dates, but mini dates where we go to the movies together and then we get dinner and then we go back to my place and hang out and then fall asleep together. You mean to tell me that guy is trying to be with me? He thinks about being with me all the time. He wants to hang out with me more even. He always seems a little sullen and slow to text back when I start dating a new guy, but that's just because he's busy. There's no way that he wants to be with me. And then I have to be like, what do you think I'm doing? It's tough. And one of the things that makes it tough for like boys, but especially young men, is that there isn't a sort of roadmap, and I don't expect there to be, because like human connection is so nuanced, and what people mean to each other is going to be different by a different degree for every person. But I think that in like popular culture and as a general narrative, we have started to just straight up vilify a man's attraction in general. And it's something that I don't know how you recover from if that's the narrative that's out there. And I understand why people are hesitant. It's a thin line. It's a very thin line to walk as a dude who is attracted to someone and trying to act on that thing. Trying to let them know you're interested, trying to make the first move. It's a tightrope, and it's scary to do. Not just because rejection is scary, but the thing you do next will determine how they feel about you probably forever. Because there's not a lot of going back you can do if you're friends and then you try to be more, or if you shoot your shot with a person you don't even know. All that stuff takes a lot of bravery. And It's not always going to be done right, especially when you're young, you're making mistakes, you know? Like I remember in class, my buddy, he had the biggest crush on this girl. You know, and we're young, and he didn't know what to do with all that pent up energy. So he's daydreaming, and he starts drawing her. Decides to draw her, and draws a beautiful picture of her. Right, like got her hair as if it was blowing in the wind. Got her face perfect. He was a really, really talented artist. Right, so he drew her and he drew him, and then just by happenstance, because he was so lost in it, he didn't catch that the bell had rung. And so we're all getting up, we're all leaving, and then she passes his desk. She sees it, and she's like, "Hey, is that me?" And he has to be like, oh, yeah. And he had drawn her so beautifully. She was genuinely touched. She was like, "That's amazing. You're so talented. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful." And I don't know, I think she was just so taken aback because none of us knew he could draw that well, you know? And so she was like, Can I have it? And he was like, yeah. And he was leaning on his desk right next to where he was finishing up some touches on her. And he's like, yeah, but now he doesn't want to move. Because he also drew him next to her. And he drew a version of him that is unrecognizable. He drew a version of him with abs. Y'all, we're 13. He drew a version of him with abs, with boulder shoulders, like truly looking like an anime character, just jacked, top to bottom, knuckles jacked, everything. Had the big old muscle behind the ear, everything. Hair flowing too, hair almost as good as hers. But you know, people are walking out and he already said that she could have it. And so she's like, "Can I have it?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." Leans up a little bit, and so she finally sees the other side and she's like, "Oh." Is that you? And my man sat there and was like, nah, like that's just the, you know, type of dude I want you to find. You know what I mean? Like somebody that, you know what I mean, like you really deserve, you know what I mean? Like you know, just somebody you might meet one day who's right in front of you. Because so much of attraction is about timing. We don't give timing enough credit. There's all this stuff like if one guy does one thing and another guy does the same thing, and the woman goes for one of the guys, it's because he's more attractive and the other guy's creepy, or we've seen this sort of narrative play out over and over again. But what we don't talk about in those situations is the timing. When did this person say this thing? When did this person say this thing? When did this person do this thing? When did the other person do it? You know, so much of attraction is about timing. And I've talked to my friends and I've asked them before. I'm like, what are you even looking for in a guy? And I'm like, oh, you know, I just want like an honest guy. And I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Because so many men are such freaks that you really got to parse out the honesty over time. Some people think that omission is dishonesty, right? But omission might be why you're in a relationship. Because if you knew top to bottom who they were immediately, it might make you hesitate. I'm not saying lie. I'm not saying be a liar. I'm saying that like honesty comes to a point. Like let's say you meet someone. You meet someone that you very much like, and maybe it's just off of the connection, seeing each other from across the room. He walks over and he says to you plainly, "Hi, my name, right? I don't know you, but I'd like to. Would you have dinner with me?" I think that we could have a really good time. You know what I mean? You see that thing alone. I feel like that's almost perfect. That's like out of a movie, right? But an honest man, a truly honest man walks up to you. Honest from the bottom of his heart. Doesn't know how to lie. It doesn't come naturally to him. An honest man walks up to you and says, hi, I just noticed you, and I know I don't know you, but I'd like to. And I'd love to take you out sometime, if that's okay. And I'll suck your toes if you let me. Do you see where he should have stopped? Do you see where a certain amount of honesty was too much? It was true in both cases, but one guy had the common sense to stop talking at a certain point. Honesty is important. Honesty is very important. But I also think if you're being honest with a person and you're being self-aware at the same time, there are things that you omit on the front end until you get to know them. Some people think omission is lying, but I think omission timed well is like the appropriate time to tell someone something. You start dating a guy, maybe it's going really well. Maybe it's a week, 2 weeks in, slept over a few times. You know, you wake up, you roll over, he's like waking up as well, and he's like, hey, you want breakfast? I make some mean pancakes. Perfect. Wake up next to an honest man. You're waking up. You roll over, he's waking up. He's like, hey, you hungry? I make some mean pancakes, and I've actually been awake for an hour. I was just smelling your hair. Been dating somebody for a little bit. You're texting, you know. Oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. You know, miss you too. Oh, how'd you sleep last night? Oh, slept okay. You have any dreams? Yeah, actually I did. What'd you dream about? Dreamed about you. Good place to stop. Fantastic place to stop. This is where you stop. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. You know, just, waking up. Oh, you have any dreams? Yeah, dreams. What did you dream about? Oh, I dreamed about you. Oh, really? Yeah, I dreamed about you, and we went on vacation together, and then we actually had this like whole vacation plan. We were in like the Virgin Islands, and then I got us this like surfing lesson because we had talked on the day of I want to surf. I don't know why I was dreaming about surfing, but I dreamed that we were doing this like surfing lesson together, and then like the surf instructor was like kind of hitting on you a little bit, and then like you were able to surf really well, like you took to it like a duck to water, and I was like over here falling all the time, and because you were doing so well, he was giving you extra tips, so he basically spent the entire lesson just giving you attention and everything, and then I was like fighting to not drown and just sort of laying on the board the whole time and everything, and then afterwards, after the lesson was over, he like slipped you his number, and so then we went to dinner, and while we were waiting on our food, I was like, oh, I'll be right back. And then I left the restaurant and I tracked him down, and I had a little conversation with him about, trying to steal people's girlfriends during surfing lessons, if that's something that he really does. And if he does it often, he's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. And then we took another little surfing lesson. We took a little trip down to the beach, and I just sort of pushed his, where the sand and the water sort of splash, where the wet sand was, I just sort of pushed his head into the water until the tide was sort of going over it, and so I couldn't really tell if there were bubbles or not because there's so much wet sand and everything, but I just sort of held it there until he stopped struggling, and then I woke up. think it's important to be honest. I do. I just think it's important to be self-aware too. You know? I'm not saying be a liar. I'm just saying, like, check yourself. Check in with yourself. Know who you are. You know what I mean? Know what that's going to sound like depending on the timing. Timing is everything. It's so important. When I was in high school, my boy, he finally asked this girl out that he had a crush on for a couple years, right? Finally just went for it. Something about summer just made him a new man. Asked her out, and she said yes. Oh, we're off to a great start. Asked her out, you know, asked her to a movie. Asked her to a movie, and she said she wanted to see Spider-Man. Okay, great choice. Phenomenal date. We both like Spider-Man. We don't have a lot of life experience. We're crossing over heavily. So he said he'd take her to see Spider-Man. Take her to the movies, see Spider-Man. That was their date. What she didn't know, what he did was he didn't just buy their tickets to see Spider-Man. He bought out the theater. And timing is everything. Because they get there and sitting down, lights get low, previews even start, and she was like, wow, I thought other people want to see Spider-Man. I thought it was a pretty popular movie. And then he turns to her. With a biblical lack of self-awareness. After she says, I thought other people would have been in the theater, you know, with us want to see Spider-Man. I've been hearing about it all week. He turns to her and he goes, oh, I made sure nobody would be here. Why even word it like that? What are you doing? He said that as soon as he said it, he saw the look on her face. He said it felt like she was waiting the whole movie for Spider-Man to rescue her. And that's why timing is so important. Because depending on when you do something like that, depends on how it comes off. This is a first date. Do you know what I mean? Even there are some people who would find that sort of gesture romantic if you said, oh, I'll take you to see Spider-Man. And I'll make sure we get our own private theater. Ooh, okay. That's different. But saying I'm going to take you to see Spider-Man and not telling her no one else will be there, even as you sit down, they have the popcorn, the drinks, everything. Middle of the movie, makes his move, tries to put that arm around her, right? And because there was so much room in the theater, she did sit one seat away. Because once he said it, I don't think, he just couldn't save it. There was no aspect of the rest of the movie where he wasn't like, you're locked in here with me. He said he had to keep turning to her the whole movie when stuff would happen, be like, crazy. It's wild, right? You know. Oh. And so it can feel sometimes a bit hard to find your footing when it comes to attraction, because everyone, from the people closest to you to the people far away, feel far away. If you don't really know how to connect, and especially now, we've built a sort of like scary parasocial connection with people that we're attracted to that they can't possibly know on the other end. And then it comes out in comments online. It comes out sometimes in whole articles. There's a line between like fascination and then crossing over into something pretty weird. I don't know if y'all saw, but apparently Sydney Sweeney, the actress Sydney Sweeney, is going to be selling bars of soap that contain her bathwater. Now, if you don't know who Sydney Sweeney is, she is an actress that is like, not just like an A-list actress, she is her generation's like top bombshell. Like, people have been freaking out and lusting over Sydney Sweeney for a long time. And it is pretty creepy. It's like, don't get me wrong, she is a beautiful woman, but the way the internet makes sure that someone that you haven't met doesn't feel like a person to you is like why we have the sort of conversations we have. Because Sydney Sweeney is in not just lots of movies. She's in, Handmaid's Tale. She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was in Madam Web. She just has range, right? She does a lot. And the way that people, every time she is on camera, every time she's even mentioned, the way that people, almost as like an understood, acceptable amount of creepiness creep on her, has been something that's like compounded over time. Like, she was in Euphoria, and then she was in other projects, and it compounded, and it started to like become exponentially creepy. And I think that this bathwater soap thing is brilliant on her part, because now she'll know the 5,000 men that need to be put on a list. Like, trust me when I tell you, if you buy Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap, you will never meet Sydney Sweeney. That's gonna be her hit list right there. It's insane. It's truly wild. 5,000 bars. It's gonna go in a second. It's not even out yet. Doesn't come out till later. Just the anticipation is like going viral. And I don't know. We might be in a very bad place we can't recover from. 5,000 bars. I'm assuming they're only gonna let one person have each bar. Just get as many people on the registry as possible. I don't even know what you would do with you. Like, that's something you would get caught with. If as a man you bought Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap, you can't let anyone in your life know you have it. That's everyone gonna look at you different, because they'll know as soon as they see it. They'll know some things about you, like you were at your laptop ready. I suppose 5,000 men who are in a rough place are going to be buying this bathwater soap, which doesn't even make logical sense. It's dirty soap. And I say 5,000 men because I'm not saying that there's no women who have a crush on, Sydney Sweeney. I'm just saying that as men, we are both grosser and more practiced at using our laptops for these exact things. I'll tell you something that I don't even, honestly, if I'm being 100% with you, I don't even know if I can word this correctly so you understand what I'm saying. I know a man who knows his favorite page of an adult website by the URL by heart. That is absolutely insane. Do you know how down bad thirsty you have to be to remember http:// baddiesonrollerskates.com semicolon bracket B12 %. Parentheses 2. I'm wondering how we got here. Truly, I'm wondering how we got here, not just as a society, but with the promotion, with the soap company. How did this happen? Because you know it wasn't Sydney Sweeney's idea. Sydney Sweeney didn't roll up in there like, you know what people love? Me. You know what I can spare? Bath water. Let's sell it. That's business. I think a sick man, a definitely sweating man with an unfortunate voice, said to Sydney Sweeney and me, look. Look, young lady. I believe, and this is just Jebediah Jones talking, all right? Because a lot of nasty men talk about themselves in the third person. This is just Jebediah Jones talking. But I believe that people would pay for your bath water. We make soap. You bathe. Let's make some money. Like truly, I think that's how it went down. No, because even in the tweets that I've seen about it, I think these are Sydney's words because they're in the quotations. But you know, in it, she's sort of playing off of the idea that this is a thing that people have talked about on the internet before, and she's like, well, you know, this is something people have been asked for. Figured it'd be a fun way to do it. I hope it just makes men think about taking care of themselves because I've been in some pretty gross dudes' bathrooms. That completely flipped the script for me. When I read that, I was like, what disgusting man made Sydney Sweeney go, I gotta do something. Sydney Sweeney is in your bathroom just looking around like, how the ceiling get dirty? No, I wonder what experience Sydney Sweeney had where she was like, I gotta do something, all right? I gotta figure it out. How can I get men to bathe? I'll do anything to get men to take a shower. Fellas, we're in a bad way. Because you know fundamentally every man that buys that bar soap needs it. This is rough. This is really rough. Because even with that general idea, right? When you hear that as a man and you tell other men, guys, Sydney Sweetie put her bath water in soap to get you to buy soap. Because she just wants you to take care of yourself. Dudes are so delusional. They'd be like, she cares about me? Wow. I like to check in on my friends. I was texting a friend. I'll read it to you. I was texting. No, I told him I was going to do it. It's fine. I was texting a friend and I was like, hey, did you see the Sydney Sweeney bathwater thing? This is crazy, right? Like, we're truly down bad as a nation and as a people. And then he responded, yeah, I can't believe it doesn't come out till June 6th.
Do you think it's weird that we put serial killers to death? No? Okay. It's just... No, just hear me out. I only ask because somebody got to kill all them, and it's usually the same person. So isn't an executioner just a serial killer that made it? Like, isn't he just like the industry plant of serial killers? Like, maybe not. I'm just asking questions. Okay. Y'all probably won't like this. Okay. I saw this story and it blew my mind. I still can't get over it. Okay. There was a guy in, I think it was Indianapolis in the 60s maybe, and he was essentially like, they didn't really have the words for it back then, but he was a serial killer, and he killed, and I think he killed and ate 8 women, right? And they caught him because he just got sloppy. He became a hoarder, I mean, it was pretty easy. Once they walked in, they were like, there is evidence everywhere. I am stepping in evidence right now. This is crazy. And so then they, gave him the perp walk, and newspaper took his picture and everything. And then they were interviewing. They did a bunch of follow-ups, and they were interviewing his friends and family and stuff like that. And then they interviewed one woman who he went on a date with between number 4 and number 5, and she was like, I thought we had a great time and went back to his place, and then he, was being all rude and everything, and then he ended up kicking me out. And I was like, wait. As I was reading it, I was like, is she mad she didn't get eaten? It's hard to get context through text sometimes, but she just sounds so indignant. I'm like, wait. She doesn't even sound like, oh, thank goodness. She's like, what's wrong with me? Like, why? Like, all right, I'm delicious, okay? I bit my lip the other day and it was fire, all right? You don't know what you miss. But yeah, she said that, went back to his place. They were chatting and everything, and then like, I don't know, he just, all of a sudden he was all rude and stuff, and then ended up being like, I think it's best if you just go home. You know what I mean? And there was a part of me that was like, look, maybe they were having a great date, great conversation, and then whatever was so special about this woman, he was like, I can't do it. I can't. She's too good of a person. Like, I got to get her away from me. Let me be rude. Let me just kick her out, something like that. And, save her from me. But then the other part of me was like, no, I think this is the most annoying person that's ever lived. I think this dude is a serial killer, and he brought this woman home to kill her, maybe eat her, and then she just, at a certain point, the conversation's going so poorly, he's like, I can't even eat this bitch. Like, this. Like, showed a picture of her kissing her cat on the mouth or something. He was like, some things are just disgusting. All right. Sometimes I really worry badly that we're like, as people, that we're lost. And that one of the reasons we're lost is that we don't really have any more like heroes to look up to. I mean, some people have heroes, but then the hero's like an actor. And I'm like, what are you doing? You want to be like the guy that pretends? I mean, and just I was thinking about it for a while over the weekend, because what we used to have was very little access to anyone we considered a hero. And because of that lack of access, if you really wanted to know about this person, if they became famous enough in their own lifetime, there'd be a person that came, a writer that came and followed them around for years, maybe decades, and then they wrote a biography. And we didn't even give a second thought to how biased it probably was, or how much the writer may have come to love this person. We were just like, okay, wow, what a great human. But that's the problem. I don't even think that everyone makes it seem like Gen Z or Gen X or like millennials, all this stuff like that are so different. I don't think we are. I think every generation of people has always been hopelessly human. And now we just see all of it. That's what's so scary now, is that there are great leaders that may not get the chance because we already saw them not be like worthy. You know what I mean? We find out a lot of the stuff we find out about people now that we think are great after they died. And now we see all the stuff, we see all the mistakes happen in real time, and it makes people harder to follow. Do you really think you would have followed MLK if he did the Tide Pod Challenge? Do you think if a young MLK in high school was like, oh, all right, this is Martin here. We about to see what it do. And then 5 years later, he's like, march with me. They might beat our ass, but come on. No. I'm scared that's what's happening right now. I think that there's a brilliant, young, but smart for her age, wise old soul. There's a incredible person out there right now, a young Angela Davis right now, twerking. And like feet on the wall too, like nasty stuff. And then 20 years from now, when she's ready to lead a revolution, there are going to be people that are like, this you? This you with the booty? It's like, yeah, it was a different time. It's like, nah, I've seen it now. Yeah, this was tough. That's what we're all like. That's what's so scary. It's like, that's why it takes so much faith to follow a person, but it's hard to have faith when you've just been exposed to all this stuff. I'll tell you what, I was in a TSA line behind someone. I won't say who it was, but it was someone who I respect very much for her work, right? And this didn't change how I felt about her. It's just what piqued this idea in my head, okay? She was in line ahead of me in TSA, and both of our bags got flagged, right? And so then they were doing her bag first, but I was standing kind of like near her because my bag was next. And I was like, looking at my bag being like, what did I do? You know what I mean? Because when they flag it, you're like, I don't own a gun or anything. So like, what could this possibly be? And it's always water. It's water every time. It's water. Every single time it is water. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's no way I could have let my box cutter fall into my backpack. And also when your bag gets flagged and you're just like black, you do just start wondering what could happen. You're like, all right, but could somebody have put something in my bag while I wasn't looking? Or like, start
adding up the jail time and everything. So I'm standing next to her, and then they open up her bag, and there's a buzzing, and so the guy is like terrified, right? Because as soon as he unzips the bag, because at first he's like chill, he's like that deadpan, like, are there any sharp objects or things that could hurt me when I put my hand in? And she was like, no. And then she's like staring at the bag while he's unzipping it, and then there's a buzzing, and the buzzing is like really strong, and it's buzzing so hard. Now he has to look, and he's like, do you know what that could be? And she's like, no, I have no idea what that could be. And she's like, my alarm is on my phone. I don't know what that could be. And so now this dude, and this is where you could tell that TSA doesn't get trained. They don't get trained for the bad stuff to really happen like that. And so then TSA, this dude over here, the bag is right here, right? This man puts a back foot, he took a step back and bent his knees like he would run. And I'm like, but then what are we supposed to, because you're not telling us to back up. And you're not calling for backup. You just over here unzipped it through the flap. And then he starts taking some of her clothes out and everything, takes some of it. And like, when I tell you, like, look, I know it's gonna sound like I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm being like genuine. When he goes to lift like another clump of clothes, because you know, they're not careful when they do this. They're not like, oh, you folded everything so neatly. I'll just take 3 shirts at a time and move them out of the bag. They just grab and so he goes to grab, and when he ended up grabbing, what he grabbed was whatever was buzzing, and so then it was in his hand for a second, and then this man audibly screamed, right? So then he over here grabbing stuff out of her bag, and then he grabs it, and you can hear it gets louder when it's in his hand, and he pulls it, like, and he's like, oh, oh. And then this vibrator went to town on that table. I've never said, because it was okay. I don't know how she used it. This seemed like maybe I'm just vanilla, but I wouldn't be able to handle something like this because it was jumping on. So it wasn't just moving along the table. It wasn't just like, this thing was fully like. This motherfucker started breakdancing on the table. And then she was like, oh, that's my, he's like, I know. And now he got his gloves, but then even with the gloves, he seems scared to touch it, right? So then he gets it and like, I'm not acting like I would have known how to turn it off right away. But this really was getting away from him. Like, it really was like he finally grabbed it and he over. I've never seen someone try to do police brutality on a bike, because he tried to beat she tried to choke the life out of it. And then he finally accidentally turns it off. And he breathing all hard like. Is there anything else in there? And she was like, no, that's the only one. And he's like, all right, you're good to go. Puts in, then and it did make me laugh at the moment. Like, so not only did he put it back in the suitcase, but then he really like put her clothes back like he was trying to kill it. Like he was. And when I bring the story up, like I said, it didn't make me judge her as a person. I still very much respect her. I'm just saying, if she were to lead a revolution tomorrow, I'd be like, all right, but are we going vibrator first? Because like, I just know that about you now. You know, I hope that's gonna lead the charge. You all have been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson. Have a good night.
I've been reading a lot of history lately. I don't know why, but maybe it's because it's such a fraught time. Feels better to read history just to be reminded, like, oh, that was worse. You know? And you also get a real sense of yourself from reading about the past. You see the mistakes people made, so hopefully you don't make them and everything. And I was reading a lot about Juneteenth because Juneteenth is coming up, and admittedly, like, you know, I learned about Juneteenth pretty young, you know? And I can tell from the scattered clapter that a lot of you don't necessarily celebrate Juneteenth. I'll put you on game real quick. This is the thing. I was reading about it because it's probably one of the most fascinating times in American history to me, because it was like the fulfillment of a promise in a way. America is a place for freedom, and it's a place for understanding yourself and building out an identity to be free with, right? And it's something that we were founded on, but it's something that took a long time to come to fruition, you know? And Juneteenth, by the way, is not a number that black people made up. That I understand it does kind of sound like that as well. Like, Juneteenth is a holiday, just so y'all know. Because sometimes, as black people, we do make up numbers. If you know a black person, especially in the South, you've probably heard them say 5011. And 5011 is, I want to be clear, not 5011. It's also not 5011s. It's just our way of saying too many. You know, you'll hear somebody be like, I told you 5011 times, take out that trash. And you know that a child is about to be whooped. You know? Or somebody will be like, he got 5011 baby mamas, and you'll be like, he is a slut. You know, they'll be like, oh, he think he's somebody because he got like $50, something like that, which is just their way of saying a lot. But it would be better to say the actual amount. Which reminds me, okay, this is digressing for a second, but it was very funny to me. One time, a dude from my hometown won the lottery, and he was calling everybody, telling them that he won the lottery, but he didn't win the Powerball. He just won some money, and so he was bragging, but he didn't. So basically, okay. Because he told me he told me he did this, but then he told me how much he made. I was like, you shouldn't have called anybody. That's not a stranger phone call flex amount of money. That I get that you won, I'm happy for you, but that's not the amount to be sending people off with. Because he called his ex and he was like, hey, looks like you fucked up because I just won the lottery, okay? You looking at the winner of $60,000. And I was like, that's salary. Like, don't do that. After taxes, that is $30,000, sir. No, but, you know, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a holiday to commemorate the slaves in Galveston, Texas, being told of their freedom and it being made official, right? And the weird thing is, there's a lot of misconceptions about when slavery actually ended, because a lot of people think it ended in 1863 with Lincoln signing the Emancipation Proclamation. But the thing with that is that the Southern states had already seceded. So to sign the Emancipation Proclamation and then send it and be like, y'all have to let your slaves go, but this is now another technically country that you are at war with because they wanted to leave the Union. That would be like if Canada was like, America, y'all need to recycle more. And then we were like, if you don't shut your maple ass up, like that's like... Because the South was at war with the North, this was to, you know, hurt the southern states that had slavery. And one of the states was actually left off of the Emancipation Proclamation because they had already taken control of it, you know? And it said nothing about any sort of slavery that was happening on the northern side. Like, northern side isn't known for slavery, but there were people in the North who had slaves, right? And so then, 1864,
I believe it was the Senate that passed it, and then the House passed it in 1865. And then they told everybody later. Really dragged their heels with that one. And this is the thing, is that if you really want to be technical with it, slavery wasn't actually abolished until the very end of 1865, like December 6th or something like that. It's just that Juneteenth, it's easy to barbecue in the summer. So we just take that one. No. But it is a fascinating time in America because it was America fulfilling a promise that it made to itself since its inception, and so many people fought it. That's what's so crazy. Like, America was about to be everything that it was supposed to be, and then there were people that were, standing in the way. And the thing that is, like, the fight for freedom in America, for every person, right? Because every person, no matter who you are, your ancestors had to fight for some form of freedom to be here. Everyone from every ethnicity, everyone from every background, has had some sort of fight to get where they are now. Even the people who can trace their lineage back to the Mayflower, America still had to have a fight to be America. We started out as traitors to Britain, according to them. We were like, nah, we're going to do our own thing. We're not sending you anything else. We pay taxes to you. You don't even come over here. We like coffee better anyway. And this is the thing, though, is that you look at that time, and for every war that America had to fight to be America, to become America, the way that we understand it now, black people fought in those wars. It's not talked about as often, but there were black people that fought in the American Revolution. There were black people that were fighting right alongside other white people in other regiments. Not every regiment was even fully segregated, and part of it was the desperation. We're fighting for our existence as a country, and then we win, and then the founding fathers, everybody's like, yeah, we're free. And the black people were like, yeah, we're free. And then they were like, what do you mean we? No? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that an insane feeling? You fight for the place to become the place, and you don't get to be part of the place yet. And then, all the way up to the Civil War, for us to have a truly, deeply imperfect union, there was this battle that took place, and there were black people that fought on both sides of the Civil War, which is confusing. Because the white soldiers, you can kind of see where they stand and why they stand there. But any black soldier fighting in the Confederacy, you are kind of like, what? What? And I don't think anyone would have been more confused than a black Union soldier, because then if they meet in the battlefield, he's like, turn around. Now, it's important to understand that whether it was the American Revolution or whether it was the Civil War, on both sides, black people fought for promises. The same way that America made a promise to itself, it also made promises to every people of every nation that would come here, right? It's why people come from Ireland, from Italy, from all these places that immigrated, that came to Ellis Island. They came for that promise, and that was a promise that was also made to the black people that were already here. You'll be part of America, right? And so in some weird way, sometimes it was due to the threat of death, sometimes it was just to get off the plantation, sometimes it was with the promise of freedom. There were black people that fought in the Confederacy, and I'm pretty sure they didn't try that hard. Like if I was a black officer, I wouldn't have been an officer. I guess a black soldier in the Confederacy, I think when I shoot, I'd be like, oops. I miss. I hope he doesn't get over here and free everybody. That'd be terrible if they just ran up on us and started being like, you free, you free, you free. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate to get shot with freedom. You know what I mean? I've heard it's terrible, But yeah. And then, Juneteenth started out as just a holiday in Texas because it was about what happened in Texas. It spread to other states, other states that ratified the 13th Amendment would then, have more and more black people in those states wanting to celebrate Juneteenth. And once again, kept it Juneteenth, not because of when it was ratified in the state, because sometimes it was a different year, sometimes it was a different time of year, but June is good for barbecuing. Right? But it was probably one of the most awkward times in America because all of a sudden this thing had happened. There were people who made their whole way of life the terrible treatment of other people they didn't see as people. And don't be weird. I'm not saying that these were your slaves or something. Don't tighten up on me, okay? Everyone I'm talking about is dead, all right? Don't be weird. But this is my thing. I guess this is what I come back to. It's that time, how that happened, right? I just imagine what would it be like in a household that had slaves, and now they're arguing. They're arguing in the kitchen or something. The couple that own the plantation. She's just like, Bo, what do we do? It's illegal now. We can't. It's illegal. We can't do this anymore, Bo. It's illegal. He's like, what do you want me to do, Barbara Jean? What do you want me to do? You want me to go out there and be like, oops? What do you want me to do? What's the plan here, okay? All right, because we are outnumbered. Gonna have to handle this delicately, And you had to handle it delicately because for the entire time that you owned people, how'd you treat them? How'd you treat these people? Because they are people. How'd you treat these people who can see you now, who can speak to you? What'd you do? Did you commit some of the most heinous crimes of all time? Because at best, you never said please or thank you. So you're reasonably terrified now that they can, so they're just arguing in the kitchen, I imagine, just like, what do you want me to do? What's this? And then somebody who worked in the house overheard the argument and was like, we're free? I'm gonna let this marinate on the stove. I'll be right back, I promise. I'll be right back. Because what would that have been like? What would that have been like, the secret message going from house to house? We already had passageways for communication and passageways to escape slavery through the Underground Railroad. This message was getting around, right? We're free, we're free, we're free, we're free, we're free, we're free, right? So now someone in the house comes outside to the field and they're like, hey, y'all, I don't know how to tell you. Okay, I didn't think what I was about to say before I just sort of said, hey, and then, okay, I didn't prepare a speech or anything. Look, I know that we don't all talk much. Because I'm in there, y'all out here. And I hear what y'all say about me. It's hurtful. Like y'all yell it, so you know what I mean? Like but we're free. We're free to go. And then everybody was probably like, free to go where? You know what I mean? Because this is the thing about the 13th Amendment that is mind-blowing. It abolished slavery except in the case of the prison, right? And the practices that you could constitute as slavery continued way after slavery. There were sharecropping. There were all of these different little systems to keep slavery intact. It's why we have unpaid internships, you know? Someone's like, but I'm white. Yes, even you. No. Just imagine that. Imagine someone tell you, hey, we're free. Because what would freedom feel like? You wouldn't know. You know? And free to go where? Free to go kill them? I'm just joking. That would be fair. I was just... No, it's just, it's mind-blowing to me because, one of my friends, I grew up in Louisiana, so I knew about Juneteenth being so close to Texas and was celebrated in Louisiana from a young age. A lot of people try to act like they always celebrate it now, just everyone's embarrassed to learn something, you know what I mean? Like, it is a true thing. You see people in New York that are like, oh yeah, Juneteenth every year for Juneteenth. I'm like, all right, maybe, but... all right. You know what I mean? But I had a friend down south. He's white, and he took like an ancestry lineage thing, and he did the 23andMe. And a lot of my white friends did the 23andMe and just so you know, just as white people, so you know, your black friends, we don't care. We don't care at all. Like oh, you're more Swedish than Finnish. We don't. Never crosses our mind. We never, you know what I mean? Just so you know. And I truly, a lot of people that take the test, I don't think they care either. If I'm being honest with you, we're just talking as friends right now. I don't think they care. I think they even take the test just to see if they can say it. You know what I mean? Like they take the, because anytime one of your white friends is like, hey, I'm actually 5% black. You're like, all right. Why are you? I don't know. I just wanted to know if I could sing the whole song now. I'm just a Kendrick fan, and I wanted to, see if I could. No, but he did the ancestry thing, and he did the DNA test, and he found through both that his family never, in America for a huge portion of his lineage, but they never owned or worked with anyone who operated in a way. They never owned slaves. Yes. And if you've never watched the white guilt leave somebody's body, this man was floating. This man was floating in waves. Just like, I'm too Irish to be bad.
Nah.